Crash course on the reason Japan attacked Pearl Harbor. What were the consequences for Japan? On December 7, 1941, the Japanese launched a surprise attack on the United States naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii, which led to the entry of the United States into World War II. The reasons for the attack can be traced back to a combination of political, economic, and military factors. Political factors. Japan's political leadership was dominated by military figures who were expansionist and believed in the concept of Asia for the Asians. They saw the United States as a rival in the Pacific, and wanted to eliminate its presence in the region. Furthermore, Japan had been trying to establish its dominance in Asia by invading China and Southeast Asia. However, the United States had imposed economic sanctions on Japan, including an oil embargo, in response to its aggression in the region. These sanctions were seen as a threat to Japan's national security and sovereignty. Economic factors. Japan was heavily dependent on imported resources such as oil, steel, and rubber, which it needed to fuel its economy and military expansion. The United States was the main supplier of these resources, but the economic sanctions had cut off Japan's supply. Japan believed that by attacking the United States, it could gain control of the resources it needed in Southeast Asia and the Pacific. Military factors. Japan's military leadership believed that a surprise attack on the United States would be a decisive blow that would cripple the U.S. Navy and prevent it from interfering with Japan's plans for expansion in the Pacific. The Japanese had developed a new naval strategy known as Kantai-Kessen, or decisive battle, which called for a single, all-out attack to destroy the enemy fleet. The attack on Pearl Harbor was a tactical success for Japan. They destroyed or damaged 8 battleships, 10 other ships, and nearly 200 aircraft, while only losing 29 aircraft and 5 midget submarines. However, it ultimately proved to be a strategic mistake. The attack united the American people behind the war effort, and led to the United States declaring war on Japan the following day. This brought the full military and economic might of the United States into the war, which Japan was ill-equipped to handle. The consequences for Japan were severe. The United States declared war on Japan, and soon after, Germany and Italy declared war on the United States. This led to a global conflict that Japan was ill-prepared to fight. Japan was forced to fight a multi-front war, which stretched its resources thin. The United States launched a series of counterattacks, including the famous Doolittle raid on Tokyo, which boosted American morale and damaged Japan's prestige. The war also had a devastating impact on Japan's civilian population. The United States launched a bombing campaign that destroyed much of Japan's infrastructure and killed hundreds of thousands of civilians. The war ended with the dropping of atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which killed over 200,000 people and led to Japan's surrender. Despite the devastation caused by the war, Japan emerged as a major economic power in the post-war period. The country's economy was rebuilt with the help of American aid and investment, and Japan became known for its innovative technology and manufacturing. Today, Japan is one of the world's leading economies and a major player in global politics. Interesting stories and examples. One interesting fact about the attack on Pearl Harbor is that it was planned in complete secrecy. The Japanese had used diplomatic codes to communicate with their embassy in Washington, D.C., but the United States had broken those codes and was intercepting their messages. However, the U.S. intelligence community did not realize the significance of the messages until it was too late. Another interesting story is the role of the USS Arizona in the attack. The USS Arizona was hit by a bomb that penetrated its armor and exploded in its forward ammunition magazine. The explosion caused the ship to sink rapidly, killing 1,177 of the 1,512 crew members on board. The wreckage of the USS Arizona is still at the bottom of Pearl Harbor today, and it is now a national memorial that serves as a reminder of the attack and the sacrifice of those who lost their lives. The attack on Pearl Harbor also had significant repercussions for Japanese Americans living in the United States. After the attack, there was widespread paranoia and racism against Japanese Americans, who were seen as potential threats to national security. This led to the forced relocation and internment of over 100,000 Japanese Americans, most of whom were U.S. citizens. Many of these individuals lost their homes, businesses, and belongings, and were forced to live in internment camps for the duration of the war. In 1991, a group of U.S. Navy divers discovered a mini-submarine in the harbor that had been involved in the attack. The mini-submarine had become entangled in a net and had been abandoned by its crew. The discovery provided new insights into the attack and gave historians a better understanding of the tactics used by the Japanese. One of the most famous stories from the attack is that of Dory Miller, a messman on the USS West Virginia. During the attack, Miller manned an anti-aircraft gun and shot down several Japanese planes, despite having no training in handling the weapon. Miller's bravery and heroism made him a national hero, and he became the first African American to receive the Navy Cross, the second highest honor for bravery in the Navy. In conclusion, the attack on Pearl Harbor was a significant event in world history that had far-reaching consequences for both Japan and the United States. It was a complex mix of political, economic, and military factors that led to the attack, and while it was a tactical success for Japan, it proved to be a strategic mistake that ultimately led to their defeat in the war. The attack on Pearl Harbor and its aftermath provide a fascinating insight into the complexities and realities of war, and serve as a reminder of the sacrifices made by those who fought and died in the conflict. Here is a poem about Japan attacking Pearl Harbor. On that fateful day, December the 7th, the skies over Pearl Harbor turned deadly in heaven. For Japan launched an attack, unprovoked and sly, that sent shockwaves through the world and made the nation cry. Bombs rained down upon the unsuspecting ships, and many brave souls perished on those decks, the screams of the wounded mingling with the smoke. As the once peaceful harbor became a fiery, raging moat, the nation mourned and rallied to the call, as brave men and women answered the desperate call to defend their homeland and protect their way of life against a ruthless enemy and a world full of strife. For Japan had awoken a sleeping giant, and they soon learned the cost of their defiance, as the U.S. fought back with all its might, and the war became a brutal, endless fight. But even in the midst of all the pain and sorrow, the people of America refused to bow or fallow, and through their grit and determination, they emerged victorious, with a newfound appreciation for freedom and liberty, and the price it demands. The courage to stand up and defend one's lands, and the knowledge that even in the darkest of days, the human spirit will always find a way. So let us never forget the lessons of Pearl Harbor, and honor the brave souls who fought for our honor. For their sacrifice and courage will always endure, a symbol of the strength and resilience of this great nation, for sure. ******. Start planning your next global adventure with ease and convenience with our Booking.com referral link. https://www.booking.com/index.html $aid equals 79893335 as a great choice to plan your next trip. You can find and book flights, hotels, cars, and local attractions all in one place, and their price match guarantee ensures you're getting the best deal. Thank you for kind support our AnHub Metaverse channel, and please watch more interesting videos here.